This is my Forester wilderness, but only a few months ago it looked more like this. I had 30 days and a dream to turn it into a daily driver I could overland. It all started with an early Saturday morning trip to my friend Sean's apartment in Connecticut. Our mission? Mount the body armor 4x4 front winch bumper. This was my first time working on a car with a friend, and I'm so glad we did it together. We removed the front bumper and the crash bar, and then we installed our bumper brackets onto where the crash bar used to be. We assembled the front bumper. We mounted our new bumper to the car, found out that we were missing some hardware to mount the bumper, and had to make a Home Depot run, which is typical. Now it was time to make a $400 mistake and cut up the stock bumper to fit around the new one. Naturally, I let Sean do this part. A short time later, our friend Ken showed up and helped us complete the install. I did some additional bumper adjustments off camera later, but I liked how the bumper came out as a whole. A week or two later, I was lucky enough to get a cold, but I was still well enough to work, so I installed my full protection skid plate package from Primitive Racing. It came with an engine skid plate, transmission skid plate, and a rear differential skid plate. Mounting these couldn't have been easier. For the engine skid plate, after removing the trim clips and bolts, the OEM splash guard is removed easily. I made sure to coat all my bolts with anti-seize so the bolts wouldn't get stuck in the car. Those New England winters aren't fun for cars. The transmission skid plate was even easier. There were just a lot of bolts, and these support brackets had to be removed and were replaced by the skid plate. After the bolts were coated in anti-seize and torqued down, all that was left was the rear differential skid plate. I removed the right bolt for the differential cover, loosened the two bottom ones to mount our bracket. I reinstalled and tightened the bolts, then removed the two front nuts. I put up the skid plate, reinstalled the nuts, installed the rear screws, tightened and torqued everything down, and the skid plates were installed. Another day came which brought us to the last major part of the build, all of the lighting. Some of the light bars were ones I bought off Amazon, but some of the lights for this build were sent to me by Oxbeam, another pair of 5-inch Amber Ultra series, as well as a pair of their new 3-inch versions. I mounted all of the lights using the mounts on the body armor 4x4 front bumper, these Nash Fab co-brackets that I also bought, as well as mounting to my Yakima roof rack using their proprietary brackets for the lock and load platform. Once those were done, I was ready to wire everything up, which I was going to do with Oxbeam's new switch panel from their Slimline series. If you haven't ever used this type of switch panel before, I'll give you the rundown. It's centered around a solid state relay box, which means I don't need to run 4 different lighting harnesses and switches into the car. I just have to wire them into the relay box and then run one wire to each terminal on the battery, and one harness to the main switch panel in the car, which in my case for the Wilderness, I mounted it to the ceiling just in front of the rear view mirror. I also ran an accessory wire inside the car as well, so the panel can turn on when I started the car and our lighting setup is installed. I spent the rest of the 30 days doing some smaller parts to the Wilderness, and the final product was complete.